What's your name?
My name is Becky Steinhauer.
And in one sentence, tell me about yourself.
I'm a former Army brat, and I'm a longtime resident of Killeen.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 8 to 10 words, and I want your first reaction for every word.
All right.
Number 1, America.
Freedom.
God.
Faith.
Scared.
Crime.
Racism.
Wrong.
Police.
Protectors.
Economy. You can pass too.
Pass.
Okay. COVID.
Fear.
Love.
Family.
Home. Hey everybody, it's your boy Cigar Chingon. Welcome back to another edition. Check it out. This is part of the series. This is what we're doing. We're getting different people's perspectives on what's going on right now. I have with me Ms. Becky Steinhauer. How are you?
Doing good.
Thank you very much for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
What we're going to do, we're going to go over some topics. Obviously, what's going on nowadays in the country, in the state, everything. As you know, on May 25th, George Floyd was killed by Derek Chauvin, as well as 3 other cops that were involved. I saw the video and I thought it reminded me of Rodney King, but obviously both were bad videos, but it was obviously way worse. And what's your thoughts when you heard of this and what happened as a result of it?
I was shocked. I mean, this is 2020 and things are still going on like this. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then with it was for so long. It was 8 minutes. He had his knee on that guy's throat, and
it was premeditated. It wasn't an accident, or
right.
It was intentional.
I think when I read into Mr. Floyd's backstory, he had left Texas to go up there to change his life, and he was a security guard for a homeless shelter that catered to the mentally ill as well as the drug addicted and so forth.
See, I didn't even know that much.
And he was looked at as sort of an icon there, someone who was very helpful. Just a horrible circumstance, horrible. What do you think about the riots that happened as a result?
I understand. It's just, I think it's being infiltrated. I can't even talk. Infiltrated by people who are just taking it off the message of what it's actually. Like I was saying, the movement. I understand that completely. It just is taking the focus off of him and what everyone's really supposed to be marching for.
Right. We had discussed that the other day, and it was. This is a perfect platform for people to get their message across, but because of the rioting and the violence, it overshadows it and it takes away from that opportunity.
Right. It's deviating from that, and it's taking the focus away from where it should be to other. Just help yourself.
And that, unfortunately, when something like that happens, this is the end product. And I don't know why. I wish people would just, I don't know how to stop it. There's a lot of anger, a lot of emotion involved in all this, especially during these times, especially following COVID.
We're just getting out of that, and we're still in it. I mean, we're still in it. We haven't resolved anything there, and so all this is going on, and people are just stressed out for everything else that's been going on all year, and that's just adding the fuel to the fire, I think.
That's it. I think since January. When did Australia start on fire?
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
it was just incredible. Like New Year's was the grace period, and
New Year's Day,
the second hit, and it was over. But it's been one after another. What's the craziest thing you've seen since January, since this all started?
Everything's shutting down. The economy. I mean, unfortunately, people losing their jobs and just the economy. I mean, everything being shut down. I mean, it's unprecedented.
Yes, I've never seen it in my time, and it was weird. Not only going to the store to buy stuff and seeing the aisles empty, but police outside in the front doors. That was
empty aisles and just worrying. Will you be able to buy food next week or this week, or if you come back next week? Will we still have food? You know.
Yeah. It reminded me back when I used to see the pictures from the Soviet Union, and communism and things like that. It was just
you hear about, like, I used to hear about, they would go out with bags because when you go out downtown, you don't know what you're going to find, and you bring your bag with you just in case you can find something. Right, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
you know, it's
crazy.
Here in America, we're doing that now.
I think one thing too was the toilet paper, and water. I didn't understand it.
No.
Tap water.
I mean, water, really? Yeah, you can. But toilet paper, what was the deal with that?
Yeah. I don't know. Now everything is plexiglass and 6 feet apart and so forth and so forth. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. How do you think government is, do you think they're inadequate right now? Overkill? How do you think they're presenting themselves?
I think they're as confused as the rest of us.
Yeah.
I think they're trying, but, got to give them credit for trying. But like I said, this is so out of the ordinary that, I mean, I don't think anyone expected this. Everyone got blindsided by this, Right. So they're scrambling to try to do what they got to do.
Yeah. I don't even know who to watch. I stopped watching TV for a minute there because
I don't watch news anymore.
it's so, you'd have to watch Fox, CNN, and then pick a lane down the middle.
Right.
Just to get something close. Yeah. With the topic of racism always coming out, especially now, do you think America can be one nation under God, unified? Do you think that's even possible?
I think it's possible. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but it's possible because, like I was telling you, I was talking to a friend. I believe that there's so many more good people than all these ones that are causing the division.
Right.
And we just need to sit down and listen to each other and talk to each other. And
just, yeah.
And I've been seeing in the last few days, more police actually stopping and talking to the crowds and,
Yeah. You know what? During the pandemic, we got to take part in a couple parades, and the local police it was cool to have them out. It was fun for them. It was fun for everybody. They made a big deal. Some kids had birthdays and whatnot and graduations, and they were out there participating in the community, and the community was receiving them. I realize there is bad police, and they really put a bad name on the other police. But
for every good cop, there's 10, 20,000 good ones out there doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And they're not the ones getting the attention, which is the sad part.
Yeah, everything is overshadowed. This one guy, these 4 guys, just made everybody look horrible. And just all the anger and rage just came back out. Do you think there's any hope at this country healing, getting back to any kind of normalcy?
Normal. And I hate the new word, new normal. I hate that, but I really hate that phrase, but it's going to be a changed country. But I think if we all come together and try to put our differences aside and, try to find more common ground than differences.
Right.
And it's not easy. There's people watching this going, yeah, right. But I think if we try to focus on that and try to find ways to change, because we're all in this together, guys.
Do you think it's more important to start that change from the outside in or from the inside out?
Because we've been going through this for years, so I don't know.
Right.
Maybe start from the bottom up instead of trying to go from the top down. I don't know.
I was talking on the last interview, and for me, if I'm to put any kind of foothold on preventing further racism, I think it's most important to start in my house and what I teach my kids. In spite of whatever I've been taught growing up or my experiences, I can either teach them to hate or not.
Right.
And they'll have their own experiences, but a good foundation. I think if a child has a really good foundation, it's really hard to waver that,
Right.
and teach people how to educate themselves so they're not relying on Facebook, social media, anything like that, and teach them how to think, not what to think.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. It was hard to see these small businesses get hit, and then you see the big businesses get bailed out.
Right.
Um,
Because they have the insurance, and what I'm like the mom and pop stores, and I saw in the news the other day, he was crying out and his voice was just breaking about, how he's raised himself up, and these just guys in just a matter of minutes destroyed his business.
yeah,
I mean, they're trying to target somebody, and they're targeting, not that there's a right person to target, because I mean, even the stores like Target really didn't have anything to do with all this, but the small independent business owners have even less to do with this than than the big store, than chains. I can see, it's heartbreaking.
It was horrible. I'll never understand the looting. It's just a criminal act, and everybody has a choice to do right or wrong.
Right.
And like you said, these small businesses are just suffering. And I had said it in previous episodes where I truly believe small businesses is what's left of the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
You could start out from literally nothing and grow into something and then pass it on to the next generation or whatnot. To me, that's one of the last leftovers of the American dream.
Right.
And
control your own future, and
do something you're proud of, and just that you love. Hard work will get you there, and just those old values just coming back. I'd like to see a day when we don't need any groups. One of my pet peeves is seeing groups for veterans,
mm-hmm.
disabled veterans. We can spend billions on war, but we can't take care of the ones that we send there. Things like that. Maybe one day we'll get everything back to normal and we'll live in that utopia and experience peace. If they can find how to make money out of peace, I'm sure we'll have it. Conspiracy theories. What was your favorite that you heard so far?
Conspiracy theories. Oh, there's just so many to choose from. I'm trying to think. There are just way too many to even pick out my favorite.
Yeah.
You just never know. You have to take anything you read on the internet with a grain of salt. Because so many times I read an article and the headlines are just, I think they're out there just trying to sensationalize. So of course, if you don't read the actual article,
mm-hmm.
You'll take away whatever the headline says. And
right.
So, that's not really a conspiracy theory, but sometimes just watching the media, that's enough of a conspiracy theory.
That's true. That's very, very true.
You gotta watch what you read and read between the lines and all that.
With what you've seen going on, your life experience, if you could voice anything to anybody out there right now, what would you say?
We need to pray. We need to pray more and find a way to talk to each other and just find common ground. We have a lot more in common with each other than we have differences.
Right.
Maybe that's a Pollyanna way to look at it, but I believe the human heart has more in common with each other than all our differences,
Very true. Very well said. Very true. If I say I'm an American, what does that mean to you? Is that a culture? Is that a race? When someone says they're an American, what does that mean? How do you identify as an American?
Culture, pride in our country,
Right.
respect for our fellow man, the way it should be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I have that question thrown out sometimes, and it's very confusing because it's like American, Mexican American, Japanese American.
Right.
There's always,
Hyphenated.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No, we're all Americans.
right. And to get that definition, it almost seems impossible. There's so many different answers to it. Yeah. It's pretty.
We're proud of our country. We love our country. We love our families. We love our communities.
Yeah. We all got to be a part of.
We're all in this together.
Yeah. Take responsibility and whatnot. So hopefully we don't lose sight of the lessons that we learned within the last 2 months. We don't lose sight of what's happened within the last 2 months. And hopefully it doesn't get any crazier. I want to say I don't think it could, but
don't say that.
yeah, every week it's like, oh.
I've been heartened, but in the last few days I've seen more and more people showing examples of what we need, you know.
Right.
So maybe the pendulum's swinging the other way, and I hope
so.
that we'll finally start working things out and, at least hear more of the good than the bad.
I hope it's not like 9/11, because after 9/11, everybody was American.
For a couple days.
Yeah, everybody was on one page, and it was a united country, and it was cool to see. And here we have a united country.
We were originally, and then we weren't. But I'm thinking now people are starting to, like, not say clear the air, but the dust is settling and people are starting to come together and realize, if we don't work this out, it's going to get so much worse.
Yeah. And I mean, we've already seen the stores, what happens. And then if we start destroying our own neighborhoods and things like that, our own commerce.
Right. Because we're still trying to recover from all this, this COVID, and this is just the icing on the cake, just making everything so much worse.
Hopefully 20 years from now, it'll be okay.
Yeah, this will just be a memory.
We'll see.
We'll hope.
Well, thank you again for being on.
Thank you. You're getting all misty-eyed.
No. But yeah, it was great to have you on. And like I said, we're going over different subjects with different people and just talking about everything, anything that comes to mind, and just expressing ourselves. If you want to get a hold of me, go ahead at cigarchingon@gmail.com. If you have any questions, anything you want me to present or ask, go ahead and you can contact me that way. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Peace.